Homeschooling was fine for those early years, but don't you think she needs to begin learning how to function independently from you? She's almost in high school after all. Poor Maddie tucked her hands under her legs and scrunched down deep in her chair, desperate to somehow disappear beneath its cold vinyl. She looked so small and a little embarrassed, sitting in awkward silence, trapped between opposing viewpoints. Before I could offer my daughter a few reassuring words, the doctor clucked her tongue in obvious disapproval and continued with her questions. It was an inquisition, a battle, and I was on the losing side. I had clearly checked the wrong box. I internally curled myself up into a protective shell, a mental paralysis, and could not seem to form any kind of verbal response or defense. Even though, as a certified trained teacher, I had spent years in a traditional school teaching other people's children how to be normal, whatever that means. Even though I had launched and led a monthly homeschool mothers group in the past. Even though I had contributed to not 1, but 3 books on homeschooling well, and even though I made my living writing a blog dedicated to encouraging and equipping homeschool mothers, I left the doctor's office that day feeling inadequate. That wasn't the first time fear weaseled its way into my mother heart, and it would certainly not be the last. Most mothers, myself included, live in a committed, lifelong relationship with self-doubt. Fear, anxiety, and tension seem always to be the byproducts of our love and investment. We hear the gentle whispers of worry and wonder if we can raise our children right, raise them well, raise them at all. For the homeschool mother, that self-doubt is magnified by the full weight of her child's education. She feels the burden of proof that her children will learn all they need to know and be as good, if not better, than those being taught by the other guys. And if they don't, well, the blame must surely fall to her. She spends her days in mental and emotional apathy, convinced that she's somehow going to ruin her kids. Over the last 5 years since I began the Unlikely Homeschool blog, I've received thousands of messages from mothers secretly suffocating in fear, all questioning their decision to combine home and school. These are the kinds of anxiety-filled ramblings I've heard again and again. Perhaps you've rehearsed a few of them yourself. The public schools have billions of dollars at their disposal to educate the masses. I can barely afford any curriculum, let alone the right one. Would switching curriculums help my struggling learner? And if I switch, what if I leave learning gaps? What if I don't cover all that needs to be covered? What if I miss something? What about my strong-willed child, my special needs child, my just-like-me child? I don't know if I can spend another waking minute teaching my difficult one. Perhaps I'm failing because I'm not organized enough, patient enough, creative enough. Maybe I'm just not enough. What if my kids end up blaming me for my decision to keep them at home? In the busyness of the homeschool day, I feel like I'm completely neglecting my baby, my toddler, and even myself. How can I continue being a mother and a teacher without losing my mind? The day in and day out is so monotonous. My kids don't ever seem to get along. I spent most of my days settling one sibling squabble after another. I thought homeschooling was supposed to build family bonds. My extended family has never been on board. I'm tired of facing the firing squad at every holiday and family get-together. How can I convince them that my choice to homeschool was the right one if I'm not so sure myself? Perhaps you feel like someone else could do a better job teaching your kids than you can. Maybe you see the lack of letters behind your name as concrete proof that you are unqualified to teach and that it's no wonder your 8-year-old still can't read at grade level. It's possible you're panicking over the social well-being of your child. You don't know any other homeschoolers and don't want your kids to continue in isolation. Perhaps you are tapped out, emotionally and physically drained from years of just slogging through. You're tired of having to play the enforcer when your teenager refuses.